Yeah, I wanted to give a story of how I learned to stop dealing with the police, when it's not absolutely necessary. And I kind of blame it on, getting older and, you get more mature and, you start to see things different. But, I was raised to, you don't, you just don't deal with the police. If you don't have to, you just don't do it. It's very seldom you see people from the hood like flagging the police down, and it's a reason for that. But anyway, get older, you start to see it different. You got family, kids. So I moved into this neighborhood, and it's you know it's pretty diverse. It's like not a whole lot of black people. Blacks here and there, but a lot of Indians, maybe Arabic, Chaldean. Anyway, this is where I'm living at. So, like when we moved there, it was like like anytime you buy a house, you gonna start doing renovations. Just it's what you do. Can't remember exactly what we was doing, but I remember at this time, um, the cameras, like the home security cameras, like it wasn't popular like it is now. But I always was pretty good at wiring, so I remember I bought a system, like 4 cameras with a DVR, and I installed it myself. And I remember, one of the neighbors that I really didn't know, like it was an older white lady. I remember her walking by, like watching me, like install the cameras, and she said, "Wow, that's like a little over the top, huh?" Being sarcastic, but back then, Karen, the word Karen didn't exist, but I didn't even entertain it. Whatever. It's hard for people to really, like they can't really hate on you when you're doing shit yourself. I noticed that, and keep in mind, I said I'm installing them. They watch me install. So like, just to give you an idea, like say this is 2, maybe 3, 4 p.m. I'm done installing. Couple in the front, couple in the back. So mind you, like I installed the DVR, everything. So when you install it, at the time it was a one port out where you run it to wherever you want to view the cameras, and then it was like a wireless mouse. So I remember I ran. It was you could view it on one TV. So I ran it to the bedroom TV. That's the key point in the story. So I ran it to the bedroom TV. So mind you, let's just say for instance, this is today. Still really light outside. Maybe after I got done, I left, came back. I'll play with it. Tomorrow. So at the time, my son was playing travel baseball. And every weekend, it's no telling where we might be. We might be an hour away. It's always seemed to be far. But it's funny because this particular weekend, we were literally like 2 miles away from the house. So that next morning come, we get up. It's early, like maybe 7 o'clock. Maybe he had to be there at 7 o'clock, but we got up early to take off. But my oldest son stayed home. At the time, he probably about maybe 15. Maybe 15. No, yeah, maybe 15, 16, somewhere. So we are literally at the park at 7 a.m. Like, so maybe the game was gonna start at 8. They had to be there at 7. I can't remember, but literally we were 2 miles away from the house. So my phone rings. Hello, Dad. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Police here at the house. I'm like, at whose house? At our house. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He's like, there's a bunch of police cars here, and they just came to the door. I'm like, well, like what? So he calm as hell telling me, and so I'm like, what are you saying? And he's like, man, yeah, it's a lot. I said, when you say a lot, like, what do you mean? He says maybe 5 or 6 cars. I'm like what? I'm like, so describe the cars to me. Like, are they unmarked cars? Are they, like, what kind of cars are they? So he like, no, they are all on regular police cars. Meaning it's the regular local police. So I'm like, damn. And I'm saying they came to our house? He said, yeah. So I'm like, shit. So I'm like, all right. I'll be there in a minute. I said, don't go to the door. I'm on my way. So I jumped in the car and I'm only about 2 miles away. I come back, turn down the street. Sure enough, cop cars all over the place. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I pull up, like literally, they gotta damn near let me by. So I let the window down and I'm like, yeah, I live here. I'm like, my son told me, y'all came over to the door. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing like that, nothing like that. Like, actually, we hoping you can help us. So I'm like, help you with what? Like, and he like, we, pull over because we're in the middle of the street. So I pull in the driveway, get out. So I'm talking to the cop, and he said, yeah, we hoping you can help us. And I'm like, I don't understand how I can help you. And he said, well, now, so say I live here, then you got a lady live here, and then the next house, it was some people that had been renovating for a while, so now it was finally at the stage where they was moving in. So, like, no, I think they maybe they moved in. Anyway, he goes on to tell me that it was a break-in, and the house that just got done being renovated, like, it was a break-in, and like, he was like, yeah, they cleaned them out pretty good. So I'm like, well, damn, like, when did it happen? He was like, last night. He was like, and he was like, well, we hope. Now, mind you, keep in mind, I just installed the cameras the day before. So he said we was hoping that maybe, we see you got cameras, right? He said we was hoping that maybe, your cameras might have caught it on tape. And I'm like, so I looked up at the camera, and I looked down at their house, and I'm like, well, damn. It's a good chance it did, So I'm like, I didn't even think much of it. I said, well, damn. I said, all right, well, I'll tell you what. Mind you, we still standing outside. I said, I'm going to pull it up on the TV, and then we'll see if we can figure out, like, how to rewind it. Because the damn camera was pointing straight down there. But I never even played with it. Like, I just installed it the night before. So I go inside. This where the part where I say I had, I ran into the bedroom. So I ran into the bedroom TV. So I go in the bedroom, go upstairs, pull it up on the TV, and it's a mouse, but is it wireless? I don't know, but it's a mouse. And you looking, and you. So I get it pulled up. I go back downstairs. So it's 3 cops. The one I was talking to, and then 2 more. I go out and I say, hey, okay, come on, let's go, see if we can, figure out how to, roll it back. So we go in, go upstairs, go to the TV. So we standing, now keep in mind, we standing in the middle of my bedroom. It's me in the middle, it's a cop on each side, and then it's another cop, like, back here. So we playing with it. we finally figure out how to just make it just keep rewinding. We couldn't go in chunks, so we just rewinded. And sure enough, caught it on tape, clear as, just crystal clear. They came with a U-Haul truck, and they did. They made, matter of fact, they made 2 trips. They came once, loaded, left, came back, loaded. Yeah, it was for real. But anyway, they're like, damn, so, but you can't make out nothing. It's just a U-Haul truck. But anyway, so we playing with it. Because like I say, you could tell maybe they had like spotter cars. Because these 2 cars kept going. So they kept rolling the back trying to see what kind of cars those were. But we could see like they backed up with a U-Haul truck right in the driveway. But the thing about that was, nobody on that block would have paid attention because we kind of used to that. Like they had been renovating and coming like at night, like like maybe they had an apartment or something while they was like really renovating the place. But we was used to that. So even if people had saw, which it was real late, but even if people had saw a big U-Haul truck back in the driveway, nobody would have paid attention to that. They do it all the time. So anyway, we cop. We messing with it. So I just happened to turn and I look like to my right. So I got a copy. Like maybe, we're not that close, but he like say here. And another one here, and I'm here. So I turn and look. So when I turn, he was like his head was coming from like looking back over this way toward the bed, and like he came to my feet and he came up. So when he made it to my eyes, like I was looking like at him, and he looked at me, and like like you hear people say like you can feel like the energy shift. Like when he said what he said, the energy just shifted in the whole room. Maybe it's like a code word that they use to like. But he looked at me. Now keep in mind, they're invited in my house. I'm trying to help them crack the damn case. So he turned to me. Well, no, we looking at each other. He's standing in the middle of my bedroom. He said, "Hey, man, you got some ID on you?" So I'm like, and the funniest thing about it though, and I still can't remember why, but I didn't have a wallet. Like I didn't have the keys. Maybe I left them in the car. Like I didn't have money. The only thing I had in my pocket was just my naked driver's license. It was the only thing I had in my pocket. So when he said it, he was like, "Hey man, you got some ID?" Like it was so instant. I just went in my pocket and was like, "Here you go." And he looked at me like almost like and like my brain calculating all this shit, and like I realized real quick that he didn't even really want that. He didn't really want the driver's license. What he wanted was me to protest giving him the driver's license. And see now, that give him a green light to go to where he trying to take this. But I'm like, here, I give him the ID. So the guy like, hey, so the other two, like, it's just awkward. Like, everybody can feel it. So I give him the ID. So he writing, look at the ID, right? So he give it back. So we walk downstairs, and the guy like, well, if you figure out a way, like, if you can you just maybe put a copy like on the scan disc or something, And I'm like, if I can figure out how to do it, I will. So we walk downstairs. So one cop go out. The cop that asked me for my ID go out. And then the last cop coming out. So I'm standing there. The last cop turned to me like, hey man, I'm sorry man about that. Like, like I'm just sorry man. And I knew exactly what he was talking about because like, I guess normally it like say if it almost would have seemed like it's like if like that's their code, like it's like certain words that they know, like and the reason I say that, like the lady that just got shot, which was horrible, but I remember them saying like something about asking her about do you got some ID or where's your ID, but I remember like when he said that shit, I remember just looking at him. And it was like how you can see it in somebody's eyes, like you can see it, like maybe the evil, maybe it was evil, I don't know what it was, but I could see it on it. So, excuse me, the fact that I didn't buy into it because he knew, like he was dead wrong. Like we in the middle of my bedroom, I invited you here. Why would you be asking me for my ID? And not even the fact that he needed ID. It was how he asked me for it. It was how he said it. And like, again, it even made them other two cops uncomfortable. And it's crazy because it got me to thinking like damn, like, what if I'd have had to maybe get it out of my drawer or go in a drawer or go in a nightstand, like, well, what would that do to took it? Like, for real. Like, I mean, like, it just kind of make you wonder. But what I learned from that is stick to what I know. Like, I know having unnecessary interactions with police is never a good thing. Like, like, absolutely no good can come from that. Like, I know that. Like, I grew up in the hood. I got a clear understanding of that. So, with that being said, like I blame myself for that whole situation because I should have never, ever let them people in my house. I shouldn't. It was my fault. Like had something did go crazy wrong and something crazy happened, it would have been my fault because I should have never let them in the house. Never. Like and I call myself like kind of being an adult and a responsible dude in the community, but nah, you gotta stick to what you know. But I learned from that. It almost seemed like that ain't what they want either. Like it's like they like the tension. They like like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I learned from that. Like, hey, and don't get me wrong. If I see like something wild, going on, I'm not opposed to calling the police saying, hey, I'm right here on such and such street. These people could use some help. But like concerning me, like I'm calling them for me. Like, man, nah. I'm sure it's a whole lot of crimes that don't even get reported because people just don't like dealing with the police. Like, it's just, it ain't never good to be dealing with the police. It's just not. Like, it's not. Like, they, it's just no good. And I know that. I knew it then. I knew it back then. But I was trying to just be an adult. But hey, you gotta stick to what you know. But it was definitely a learning experience for me as a very, very grown man. Something like that. I knew better. But I'm just gonna reiterate to the people that get put in that predicament. Hey, stick to your instincts. Stick to your instincts. So you can just know, like, it's never a good. It can always possibly go wrong when you're dealing with the police. So do everything in your power not to have interactions with the police, and not to even you know, I hate to bring the man-woman dynamic in it, but if a woman ever calls the police on you, yeah, it might be time to let that one go. Like she just couldn't possibly care for you. She just couldn't. Like it's just, I mean, unless y'all know what I mean. I'm not even about to even, say that shit. Like if you was to be, nah, y'all know what I mean. Just that woman who she got so mad and maybe lie. It don't even matter why she called the police. I mean, if you wasn't beating her brains out or something, dude, if she called the cops on you, nah, she don't care about you. And that's, like I said, I'm not going to get off into all that. But, like I said, I'm going to reiterate, maybe some people do jive with cops. But, like where I grew up, it's just, like I said, you just understand, like, the less interaction with the police, the better. And, I should have stuck with that whole program. Because, like I said, when I look back on that, that could have went horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. And it's three of them saying whatever they saying, because I'm not around to say nothing. Yeah, but I invited them in. It's almost like they show you. I bet you won't do that no more. Hey, look, they were absolutely right. So I just wanted to tell that quick story, but just y'all be careful out here and stay out them people way.